Hello everybody and welcome to another video. In this video, I basically want to talk about illegal escape characters and sequences, like what those are and why those are important. So, to first begin, again, this is the program that we have been working off of for the past couple of videos. And what I talked about previously is how to print something, common issues with printlins, as well as the main method. So if you're lost up to this point, please pause the video and watch the previous videos as it builds off of those videos. But yeah, in this video, I want to cover what illegal escape characters are and what those serve. So for those of you guys who don't know, uh, illegal escape characters are basically a way to escape characters that are built into the program. So for those of you guys who don't know what that is, for example, quotes. Let's say you know how I said I could do system dot out dot println, and I just printed out I love cookies. Okay, as we know, we can only have one quote, one opening quote, and one closing quote. So what happens if I had a quote right here? We talked about that. What happens when I did that? You can see it produces an error because I can only have one opening or one closing. One opening for one closing. So in this case, I have one opening and a closing, and I have a closing. But I don't have an opening for that closing. So we can't do that. But what if I want to have quotes inside of quotes, but at the same time, I want to print something out? That's where the illegal escape character comes in. The illegal escape characters allows you to insert special characters into strings that you want to be able to produce. The most common one that's used that we'll use throughout this course is this type illegal escape character. Again, let me go ahead and explain what I'm doing here. Again, we talked about this as a comment, and in this comment is give me directions on what this program should do. And it says I want to print the following sentence. It doesn't say sentence, but let me just go ahead and type that sentence. It says I want to print out I love cookies. And notice, as you can see, we see something new that we haven't seen before. It prints out a quote inside of a quote. Again, that's not on purpose. That's not an error. That's exactly what I want to print out. I basically want to print out I with quotes love cookies, and the quotes the love has quotes surrounded by it. So let's go ahead and do that. Let me just go ahead and copy this, and let me just do the same thing I did. Let me just go ahead and run this and see what happens. As you can see, it says expected, blah, blah, blah. There's a bunch of things going on. I don't know what's going on. But to make a long story short, you can't just have quotes flying around all over the place. As you can see, we have an opening quote and a closing quote. But within that, there's an opening quote and another closing quote. And part of the reason we talked about is when you're printing something out, you can only have one specific opening quote for closing quote, and you can't have anything in between them. So, for example, you can't just have a quote flying around. And let's say this is exactly what I want to do. That's where the illegal escape character comes in. The illegal escape characters allows you to bypass the constraint where they have it so that you can only have one opening quote and one closing quote. Let me just make it clear. For example, when we're printing something out, we always have an opening quote and a closing quote, correct? Yes. So let's just say I want to have some quotes inside of that quote. What I need to do is I need to introduce something known as an illegal escape character. And how an illegal escape character works is you go outside the quotes, and then you insert a slash, and then before you close the quote that you want the word that needs to have the quotes around, before you close it, you have another backslash. And so now what this tells the program, again, this is confusing because this may be the first time you guys have seen it. What this is telling the program is, hey, I'm going to have I love cookies. But as you can see, how this is read is, okay, from the opening backslash to the list slash, I'm going to have quotes surrounded around the word that's specified. In this case, the word that's specified is love. So what this will do is it will print out this sentence right here. Let's just go ahead and compile it. and let's just run it. And it printed out, oops, let me go ahead and clear it. Let me just go ahead and run it again. I love cookies. See how it printed out I with quotes inside of it? Cookies. Again, this may be hard to see because this may be the first time that you guys have seen it, but let me go ahead and explain it again. For example, when I'm printing something out, I always need to have quotes around it and then text inside of it, the text that I want to print out. But let's just say the text that I want to print out, some words may have quotes around it. Again, you saw what happened the first time when I tried to default add it without having any special tools. Like I introduced it, just the Eagle Escape character. You saw what happened if I didn't have that. The program would just get confused because now you just have quotes flying all over the place. But what this is doing now is it's saying, okay, after starting from this quote to the ending quote, which you will close it right before the word that you want the last word to have the quote on, you will close it. Before you close it, you have a slash character indicating, hey, this is the end of the quote for the word that's supposed to have the quote inside a bigger quote, and it will basically wrap it around quotes, and that's that. So let me go ahead and do another example. Let's just say I want to print out this sentence. I am happy. So what I do is I do the same thing. I do system.out.println. And I do I am happy. But if I run this, let me go ahead and run this. It's not printing out what I want it to print out. First of all, it's not even in caps. That's another issue which I didn't want to make. But again, we talked about, let's just say, wherever it starts, I need to have a slash before it and then a quote. And then where it ends, I need to have a slash and then a quote that closes it. So now what this is telling the program is starting from happy to the end of the Y, wrap that whole thing around quotes, starting with the H up to the Y. So now if I run this, this will basically say I am happy and wrap it around quotes. Hopefully this made sense. Again, it could be really hard to see what's going on. So I would pause the video and try to contemplate on what's actually happening here. But the whole idea is this is a way that you could add quotes inside strings. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next video.